Hey guys, it's Jose. I got a picture that I'm showing of four regulars, one semi-regular, and a guy that just started playing about a year ago, Alpha Strike, and we're at Critical Hits Games. I'm interviewing Mr. Ronald Baker. He's wearing the BattleTech shirt with the red Marauder on it, and the other members of the uh, mobile headquarters podcast that we're going to be starting soon is myself, Ronald Baker, Bradley Prophet with the Federated Sun shirt, and Mr. Randall Snyder with the Tampa Bay Lightning shirt on. And we'll eventually have both Steven, which is our Word of Blake expert there with the big smile, and Jonathan behind me with the tall blonde kid with the glasses on for interviews as well on that podcast. But for now, I'm interviewing Mr. Ronald Baker, who is a Catalyst rep. And Ron, how you doing today?
Doing good yourself.
Good. I'm doing fine. Long day at work, but hey, that's part of life. At least I'm working. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
Same here.
So anyway, let me ask you a couple of questions. We've had a conversation before, and we just didn't record the audio on it. So I'm just trying to remind everything. Um, what got you into BattleTech? How did you first start?
I started off reading BattleTech in '94. It was actually given to me. Highlander's Gambit was the book given to me from a long-term sub at the school that I was at, and from that point on, I got hooked into it, reading the lore, and then I realized there was a game, so I got into the game, and the rest is pretty much history.
Almost my story in a way, except I started collecting the mechs before I ever played a game. I think I've had mechs 25 years before I played my first game of any type of BattleTech because it was just hard finding at that time anyone that played,
hmm
you know. I
Yeah,
thought,
we actually had there was an actual local group um, at the store here in Bradenton that's no longer around,
yeah.
but they played quite a bit.
Well, I kind of find it interesting because my local, well, prior to Critical Hits, the closest store to me has always been Armada Games. And over the last 6 months, they've grown from two people that play BattleTech every now and then to a weekly Wednesday night BattleTech games there. Um, and now since I've moved, I can literally takes me 15 minutes to get there, so I can be there every Wednesday night and play with the guys. And they're playing both Classic and Alpha Strike. Now, I started off with saying you were a Catalyst rep. How does that work for you?
I'm actually not a rep. I don't work for Catalyst. I'm a volunteer who works for the demo agency.
Okay,
So yeah, I have no say of what Catalyst or anything like that. I just, in a way, I kind of represent and show the game off to people at conventions or at local game stores and stuff like that. Um, Basically, I had to fill out an application, prove that I knew the system for Classic Battletech because that's what I knew at the time.
right.
Uh, I've since recently, gotten Alpha Strike down, so I can actually put that on my resume for a demo agent to run Alpha Strike. Uh, it's just basically it's just a program that incentivizes people to show the game off in
Okay,
a professional way. Paint it miniatures. There's certain rules you got to have. You can't, and we got to report our events on the webpage and stuff
right.
like that. But it's like I said, I'm not a representative. I don't have any say. I don't know what Catalyst is
I'm
doing
glad
behind the
so.
scenes
No,
or
I'm
anything like that.
100% glad that you expressed that way because a lot of people don't know that the guys with the bowling shirts that say Catalyst
Yeah.
are not employees of Catalyst.
Yeah, we don't work for we work for Catalyst, but it's a volunteer basis. It's a
Right.
volunteer program. We
Yeah.
don't get paid for it. We just love the game, so we just show the game off for Catalyst to bring new players in.
That's cool. That's cool. So I'm assuming the first version of the BattleTech game you played had to be Classic,
It wasn't classic. It was just BattleTech.
which is BattleTech at the time. Well, yeah, back
It
then it
was
was
just
just
BattleTech.
BattleTech. Yeah, yeah.
There was
And
no Alpha Strike. It was just BattleTech.
fair, fair,
But yeah,
100% fair.
the Alpha Strike wasn't around yet.
Yeah,
Because like I said, it was '94 when I first started playing.
yeah.
Don't think Alpha Strike came in the scene until much later. But yeah, it was definitely the hex base,
Yeah.
bigger, record sheet, more crunchy stuff.
So let me ask you a question. I asked this last night. What was the opinion of the people over at Armada? of was BattleTech Classic or Alpha Strike, or was it the same game because they use the same miniatures, or are they two separate games? And the general feeling over there is that there's two separate games. And if you love the crunch, the munch, and being able to fire a weapon at a time, targeting different things, classic or the BattleTech, as you called it, will be your first choice. If you want to fight like Bradley and myself, last Saturday fought Kurita, second Sword of Light with his four companies of Davian, 48 mechs on 48 mechs. Classic BattleTech is not your choice. It has to be Alpha Strike, or you'll be there for 6 weeks playing that game.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I remember, like I said, I played games that were big like that in Classic, and it took weekends.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I've seen some games this last week. I've been pitching the 350 format, tournament format, to the people there, and it was fun because excuse me, 2 weeks ago, while at the store, I was running a demo, and we ran 3 different missions because the guy liked the first mission. What else
Hmm.
can we do? Because we were finished in 80 minutes. We used the clear timer. And by the time we finished our third mission, they were just wrapping up their classic game that was going on the same table next to me. And he's like looking at that, which he's been playing for years, and looking at the Alpha Strike system, and playing against the guy. I was playing with 2 mechs, an Atlas and a Sunder, and some tanks, some LRM carriers, infantry, and some choppers. And he's never seen a BattleTech game that light on mechs, you know. And I was actually trying out my Word of Blake forces, but since he was learning a new system in Alpha Strike, I turned off my C3 network, or else I would have slaughtered him because he was playing it like classic, which I'm also finding a lot of the original BattleTech players, when they go to Alpha Strike, they tend to put their lances and put them all together so all 4 bases touch. And I think that, and I think of my game with Bradley, and I'm saying, run for the hills, boys. Artillery's going to smack you and smack you and smack you bad. But it's, they're learning over there. They've already
Yeah.
experienced a couple of interesting games between me and Connor.
Yeah. Just to go back to your original question of, as in, what I think the games are. They both are BattleTech. To say yes, they are BattleTech. But are they different things? Yes, I believe there are two separate systems in the BattleTech universe. Like you said,
Yeah,
one would be for your crunchy lance on lance type stuff, where you want to just do some lance battles and stuff like that, and do it pretty quickly. Uh, but the other bigger battles, like you're saying, yeah, you're gonna want to do the Alpha Strike because, like you said, it takes weekends, and I do
yeah.
remember that for myself.
I just,
Um,
I got Jason at Armada that I'm going to in 2 weeks, because I can't do it next week. In 2 weeks, we're going to get together, and he's going to introduce me to more than a one-on-one classic
yeah,
BattleTech game. We still have to negotiate what size forces, and
mhm,
it's funny because Connor has learned how to play classic since he started playing over there, and he there's one thing about classic he doesn't like. Once you lose your first mech, you're down a quarter of your force, and it feels like you can't win at that point. And he feels like he's packing up and going. And I just laugh at him because, you want to play a
you're breaking
crunch
up
game.
really bad again.
Okay. Well, how about now? Can you hear me now?
Say again. I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that. I figured out what
Oh, no
happened
worries.
there. But yeah, we're trying out a new system, guys, as far as using Discord to record this video. So there's going to be some problems here and there. But yeah, he doesn't like being one shot, headshot, taken out cold, and and his mech is out of the action, and he has to fight the rest of the battle 3-on-4, and that's not right. Why does it have to be so few mechs? And I go, well, you can play with more mechs. You just negotiate, but don't worry, it's going to be the same thing. You know, one lucky shot,
Yeah.
just like an Alpha Strike, one lucky shot, and you're down a mech.
Hmm.
Um, Now I know we both play the 350 format, and that is a combined arm format. And you recently
Yeah.
went to Vegas, LVO.
Correct.
How was that experience for you?
I actually really enjoyed it. It was actually a lot of fun. Didn't really go with like to say be uber competitive. I just went to go have fun and play, and I did have a good time. I will say, like I said, the whole time there and stuff like that, it was definitely an experience. I do want to go back again because I did enjoy it. It wasn't like everyone was like super over um, uh, competitive on it. It was just good gameplay and stuff like that. It was really a lot of fun. I learned some things, saw some things, yeah, tweak some things on my list.
Yeah,
Did like the where they put it into faction era.
yeah,
I think now with the era and stuff being locked into a certain era, that's going to be a little bit different as well. So that's
yeah.
going to be
I think
interesting.
it's gonna be harder to make that list that wins every single when all of a sudden you can't use half the mix you were using or
Yeah, I
the
think
other
it's going to
forces.
be yeah. Because like I said, I noticed my list and stuff like that was my speed still worked for me, but I still didn't have a lot of things that other people had either. And I
Yeah,
was an Ill Clan Smoke Jaguar player.
yeah. No, I saw a lot of the pictures from the WolfNet page on Facebook,
Hmm.
and I saw mechs that I had never seen before, and I realized, oh, those are Ironwind mechs. Okay, that works. And I think the format allows you to use you can use FASA, Ironwind, and Catalyst mechs, but you can't use 3D printed, which I'm
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So that's kind of like
Oh, they well, the reason they're not doing 3D print is they're trying to show goes back to what you see
Catalyst.
is what you get.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, not so much catalyst. It's what you see is what you get. As a demo agent, I can't use 3D prints either.
Uh,
It's just basically if we're demoing a game, someone goes, "Oh, I like that. What mech is that?" And it's a 3D printed Black Knight, and then they go get the Black Knight. It's not the same.
the same. Yeah.
It
Okay.
That's why they try to show the what you see, what you get.
Oh, I get that. I get that. Yeah, I've got some 3D printer stuff that's been done for me, and oh yeah, I like the Black Knight. You picked the right mech there. I like the Black Knight with sword and shield because it looks
Yeah.
like a knight for a change. Whereas the one with just the guns and whatnot looks like, okay, the helmet looks like a knight, but where's the rest of it?
Hmm.
But yeah, I like the fact that locally, except for when we do a 350 tournament, we can fudge stuff and bring all sorts of stuff in.
Yeah.
And I tell
Most
people,
of the time and stuff like that for you can use proxies still. Proxies are still allowed.
yeah, exactly.
Um, for LVO and stuff, I used the Dire Wolf for a proxy for an Iron Cheetah. So
Yeah, why not?
because there's no official
Yeah, they
money for an
haven't
Iron
made an
Cheetah.
iron. Are they
Yeah.
making? Is it coming out in the Kickstarter?
I didn't see anything. It'd be nice if it would, but
Yeah,
I haven't heard anything.
and the linebacker's out
I've seen
already.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
seen line art, but I haven't seen any 3D renders.
yeah. Well, we're hoping the line art leads to a 3D render.
Hmm. Well, we're
You know.
getting Regent soon, I guess.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
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 got
yeah.
the Regent. We got Regent and Iron. Yeah, we got the Regent and Metal already for Iron Wind. We just don't have it in.
In plastic. But that's
Yeah.
fine. That's fine. They'll get there eventually. I seriously doubt this Kickstarter they're about to do, the mercenary Kickstarter that they're doing on the 23rd of March. I
Hmm.
seriously doubt it's going to be their last Kickstarter because I think
Yeah.
they found the right formula. Advertise in advance, let people know it's coming, show them what you're going to be providing prior to you going crazy with the add-ons and stuff, and
Yeah.
build up that way. I like their marketing scheme and how they're going about um, funding and getting the product because they'll know exactly how many they need to start with, so they can just go percentage over that to sell to stores. And bingo, there they go. They're on their way. Nice sales
Yeah.
year, nice marketing, all in one. I do like that. So let me
Yeah.
ask
I think
you.
they.
Go ahead.
So I think they learned their lesson from the first one.
Yeah,
Sounds like the product's already going to be available before the Kickstarter even really gets going.
yeah. I don't think
So
we
it's
want. I
there.
don't think I would like to put money down on that and wait 2 years with no
Yeah.
COVID.
Well, I did for the
Yeah,
first
yeah,
one we did, and people waited.
yeah. Well, we waited, but it was how much of it was COVID too.
Yeah.
And you know,
True.
when we all saw those ships off the Los Angeles and San Diego
Hmm.
coastline, hundreds and hundreds of container ships. Well, just one of those containers could have had our product on it, and it took 5, 6, 7 months before half of them got unloaded.
Yeah.
So okay, if that was the reason
What
why.
is going on? I apologize. Both my cats decided to bombard me, and I've got them both in the room with me now, messing with stuff.
Cats are okay. I'm fine with that.
So I'm just like, it was quiet, and all of a sudden I'm like hearing nothing. It's the cat behind me pulling in the box. Stop.
Have you played any of the online games of BattleTech, like Mech Warrior
Uh,
5?
yeah, I've done MechWarrior Online quite a bit. I haven't played that in a while, but I still started off with that because that was actually when it came back out. Was like, oh, new MechWarrior game, yay!
Hey,
Um, actually played some of the MechWarrior 5. Haven't really done much of MechWarrior 5 because just life's been busy. So I've been actually
yeah.
just basically
I've,
buckling down and playing the tabletop when I can, and then doing my painting. That's my main thing right now.
oh yeah, and you. By the way, guys, uh, he goes by the name of Tulsa,
Sula,
um,
Sula, yeah,
and he does phenomenal work. Absolutely
yeah. Sula's
phenomenal
Paint
work.
Bay on Facebook.
Yeah. Um. So, what do you get out of the game as you play the game? Me, I get a lot of. I don't care if I win or lose. It's just an opportunity to go out there and hang and have fun. That's what I get out of
Yeah,
the game.
that's the main thing. Like I said, I don't go to be uber competitive. I don't go to sit there and go, oh, I'm gonna win first place all the time. I go and just say, okay, I'm gonna roll some dice with some friends,
Yeah.
hang out, laugh, play, cringe at some of the rolls that happen, cringe at some of the rolls that I do, and go, ooh, sorry about
Oh,
that. Didn't mean to.
you cringe. You've heard the
Yeah,
story of what happened to me, right?
yeah. You have
Eight.
eight ammo explosions. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Half my
So
mechs that were killed were by ammo explosion.
yeah,
They had pips all over the place. Ah, dead. Oof, that was brutal. But no headshots
yeah.
for once. That was weird. Okay, question on you on factions. Clan, I know you are Smoke Jaguar, 100%.
Correct. Yep.
So I'm not going to ask you that one, but I will ask you what faction Inner Sphere, and if you have a mercenary faction, you favor.
Inner Sphere is House Davian.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I
always like
kind of,
that.
okay, that makes sense.
Basically was kind of based off going the Warriors trilogy,
Okay.
Justin Allard and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Mercenary?
Mercenaries is like I said, Mercenaries. I got my own that I made, my
Okay.
Panzers,
Yeah, I got my own force
but
that I made too, but I got a few favorites. But
they
that's
they
yeah.
they work for me. I haven't really fleshed them out much, but Mercenaries, if I actually had to pick an actual in game mercenary unit, it'd be the Kellhounds.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I can see that. I can see that. I think it's interesting because had I have known that the Goliath Scorpions took over an area of the periphery where all the people from Iberia, the Spanish and the Portuguese left Earth to go there because Earth was becoming too Anglo for their tastes,
Hmm.
basically, and they went that way. I might have, instead of choosing Clan Wolf, chosen Clan Goliath Scorpion. So now I have a Clan
Yeah,
Wolf force, and I'm building a Goliath Scorpion force for my clan forces. And Mercenary, I got my own brand, but I also have a force of Kellhounds that I also use too. So it's kind of fun
right.
that we have at least that there. Um,
Yeah.
now, I, now I have a question for you.
Uh-huh.
I have fallen in love with the linebacker as a clan mech, and I've gotten seriously a lot of love for the Sunder and Inner Sphere. Those are my two favorite mechs by Inner Sphere and Clan. What are yours?
All right. You broke up a little bit, but I think you're asking for the favorite mechs of Intersphere and Clan.
Yeah, I said Iron, what you call it, linebacker for Clan,
Okay.
and Inner Sphere was the Sunder.
All right. Well, for me, for Intersphere, it's going to be the Warhammer. I even
Warhammer?
got the model, the 60. Yep. 60 Warhammer. Um, just something about that I just really enjoyed playing in. Um, actually brought that over to the clan side. Now I can actually do a Warhammer on the clan side too with the C3.
Oh yeah,
So I actually got one of those in my I actually I actually got one of those in my Smoke Jaguar Force. But if I was actually to say a actual favorite clan mech that was clan design, it would be the Stormcrow.
okay. Yeah, I can see that. I think the interesting part to me is, um, unless you're Bradley, you don't have every single mech. You choose the ones you want and you
Yeah,
play with those, and all of a sudden you find, hey, this one's great in classic, but it sucks in Alpha
yeah,
Strike, or this one sucks
yeah,
in Alpha Strike and it's fun, not or great in Alpha Strike, and no, you don't play it in
yeah,
classic. It just dies, and it's
yeah. I
just
actually see a lot of mechs that are actually a little bit more viable in Alpha Strike because of the genericization of them,
yeah,
kind of.
yeah.
Where they just don't work with Classic because of the crunch factor. They just don't have it. But a lot of the Alpha Strike doesn't have that. Just badness to it. Has that genericness to it. But they're still. I think you can also play more of their roles better in Alpha Strike than you can in Classic too.
I think so too,
Uh,
and it,
because where you can sit there and hit and fade with a striker, where in Classic it comes into a scrub. But with an open board, you can kind of lay out some terrain and kind of use the
yeah,
cover to what you need to do for it. So I think the roles are actually more pronounced in Alpha Strike with the mechs.
I
And like I
got
said, I do
yeah,
like the Iron Cheetah, but I haven't played it enough to say it's my favorite. If I was actually to get a mech, it would probably still be a Stormcrow for sure.
okay. Now let me
But
go back to
but I do like
LV.
the Iron Cheetah.
Let me go back to LVO. You also played in the inaugural two versus two tournament there,
The doubles,
the
yes.
doubles. How was that for you? I mean, you can use your entire
I enjoyed
force.
it. I did enjoy it. It was different. Uh, Me and Bradley were teamed up for that. At least his dice were better than they were during the singles. Um, but a lot of it boiled down to it was a lot of teething issues because it is a new format. So with the feedback and stuff like that, we've learned okay, in doubles we need to do lance formations to move things along faster.
Yeah.
Um, the imbalance is a little bit hard because we played our full 350 list. My 350 list had say roughly two, three, about 7 units. Okay, the team against us, me and Bradley had like maybe 16 units. They had 32.
Oh,
It just by sheer
attrition.
volume alone,
Yeah,
um, and at the time it took for them to move, that's when I realized, yeah, we need to
yeah,
move by formation, maybe change the size down a little bit from 350 down to maybe 300 per person.
yeah,
Uh, like I said, it's a growing concept. They do want to do some more testing on it.
yeah.
We've been invited to do some testing on
Yep.
it, but we can't share much beyond that because, like I said, we don't want to put anything out there that's not in stone yet because the Wolf Deck
Right,
guys are all about testing and getting it right before they put it to the public.
right. And it sounds like they're hoping to put it, from when I talked to Andrew on Messenger, their plan for Gen Con is for Thursday to be the 600 point battle,
Correct.
PV battle, and then Friday will be the first half of the 350 tournament. They're
Hmm.
expecting about
Hmm.
four. They're going to have slots for 40 people, and they're expecting the top eight to go on to Saturday,
Yeah,
and then the rest of
correct.
us go
We'll
into
be playing the
the
doubles.
doubles. Yeah, so
Yep.
they're hopefully we
That way,
can.
it has something that way. If you're eliminated from the first day of the 350 tournament, you have something to play
Yeah,
the second day.
yeah,
That's the whole concept of the doubles. To be honest with you, and like I said, they sat there and they had 32 of us there for singles, and then we had 16 people show up to play the doubles for the first time. And like I said, I did enjoy it, but it was very difficult to um, keep track of things for certain people because they had so much on the table. Let's just put it that way. And then trying to move the game along, we've got to figure a way to
I
limit the sidebar conversations, or if you have the conversation, keep it fluid
yeah,
so the game keeps moving because it did stagnate in one of our games, and that was getting aggravating to me
yeah. I
because I felt we were getting
Brad,
I felt we were getting very much slow played and ignored where it was to the point battle of nutrition. You're not only
Yeah.
getting hits from us, we're wearing you down, but since the numbers are so big, we're getting worn down on time where we can't do anything,
Right.
is what it was really felt
Bradley
like.
Bradley and I took a little bit of time as we were setting up and actually fighting our game, talking about that tournament. And he mentioned the slow play um, game and a couple other things, and that yeah, it's just to me, to us when we talked about it, we were looking at how many mechs we had down, and the decision making that we had to make, and I was thinking to myself, what do you mean they can't handle that many mechs?
Yeah. Well, like I said, I can handle. Like I said, my force was smaller. I had two. I had 2 stars, so I take that back. I basically had 10 units on the
Okay.
board. So I had 10 units. That's 2 stars. I had one formation of 5 and another more formation of 5.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. I'm
So
building.
it was.
Me and Steven are building Woobies. We're the Blake's Ill Clan
Mhm.
era for the fight, and if we were to play a full, what I did is I built a 350 force to start with. Then I added another 150 points for the 2v2. Now we're not going to pay the full 500. We're going to drop it down to 250 or 300 aside. So I'll be able. Okay, that was you, I think.
No, I don't know.
No, it sounded like like a cat maybe got in your face.
Maybe. Like I said,
Maybe.
when the cat did jump up here, so maybe you paid him to jump up.
Okay. So, but we I built that standard force for 350. I added some more armor and a couple other small units, got it up to 500. And just because of the 600 format that they're talking about, I only added 4 more mechs, 4 more units, 2 mechs, 2 choppers, and there I am. I've got my forces, and total for 600 is only
Yeah.
19
Well,
units right now.
right now, since he put a lock in his jihad era, I can't play my smoke jaguars. But I was thinking maybe I could do a Fidelis list.
Maybe you can,
But
or
but
you,
looking at the Republic of the Sphere and jihad era, they have no battle armor.
yeah.
They have very limited access to battle armor. They have exosuits, but that's about it. So I was sitting there thinking maybe I'll.
I think that's the reason I like the 350 format the most is because the variety of battle armor that's out there that you can use. And I
Yeah.
just recently asked um, Andrew a question about a jumping battle armor and VTOLs. And the only question I have is if the VTOL is in the range of the jumping battle armor. Okay, let's say it has a jump 6 and the altitude is 5. Does the VTOL have to land or can the battle armor jump out? And he said, doesn't have to land, they can jump out. Okay, I'm a happy camper. Now I don't know if that's what all the rules say.
Yeah, they can jump out, but you have to roll like they artillery and see if they scatter.
That's not that
It's
bad.
in the book.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fine.
it's in the book.
Okay, good enough.
And if they do scatter, I think it's like 1 point of damage or something per level or something. So,
Yeah. But I look at it
but
and I'm going, well, okay, so
you can also zip line them down too. Um, and they also, if they have para, I believe you can have them jump out too.
right. But I just that just
So
that,
I'm curious now with the new VTOL Omni if we can actually mount battle armor onto that thing and fly them across and have them jump off.
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
That's definitely what
but
I was thinking
so
there.
far they're because you can't X-mech onto a regular VTOL, so I don't
Right.
know.
But that's part of the Omni. Well, it's not just Omni. I think they have to have MEC on it. Or does the
What's
battle
that?
armor? No, the battle armor has to have MEC on it. Not
Battle
just.
armor has to have mech,
Yeah. Yeah.
but if it has X-mech, it still can't mount on a VTOL.
Right. Uh,
X-mech can mount on mount on anything, even if it's not an Omni.
yeah, it promises to be fun. I definitely want to see how this 500 tournament turns
Yeah,
out. You're gonna be there, right?
yeah. I'm gonna try to be there. Like I said, I'm still planning on it. I'm still putting a force together. It's the 25th of March, so yeah, I'll probably be there. I already got set up like that. I just gotta put something together to fit the jihad era.
Okay, good. Yeah, because hey guys, if you're going to Adepticon, it's sold out, and you would have been limited to the Civil War era just before Jihad era, and then Gen Con is Jihad era. So all of you guys that are
Yeah,
uh, Ill Clan era, you're gonna have to bring your forces down to our level.
yeah.
I was amazed at how many people went to Vegas, and about half of the forces were Ill Clan era, and then you had a mix and match, including there was a Jihad era one there, but there was a couple that they had to be brand new to the format in the game because I saw only mechs and no infantry. I think there was 2 units like that there, and that's like
It,
I wonder how they did. You know?
um, well, I know a lot of people. That was another thing that was brought up and stuff like that was the undervalued what they call a combat vehicle, using it as like a basically, oh, I can get a 3 value point infantry, call up my commander, stick it behind a cliff in the corner, and put a wall in front of it for headhunter, and it's really hard to get to that unit because it's behind a level 1 and it's below the cliff in a corner on their side.
Oh, didn't hear that about that.
So that was one of the things that is being looked at because it's like, okay, 3 points of infantry, calling the commander, okay, you can do that, but they're going to try this out where you can actually, it has to be a viable piece of target because people were hiding stuff like that. We had Urbies in the corner launching nukes, the arrows.
Yeah, yeah.
Same thing. Someone would put up a piece of
Please,
terrain,
please,
put the Urbie behind it.
let's not talk about Irby about launching
Um,
artillery. That killed me last Saturday. Oh my
yeah.
God, I
So we had
learned a
that.
lot.
We had, and then like I said, the one thing that was really kind of shocking too. I know Bradley talked about it quite a bit. Was the Grenadier battle armor with X Mech attached to a Savannah Master, and using
Yeah,
that as a transport. So it was
I can
like,
see based on the size, I can maybe see
yeah,
two, but not a
but
full
if you
squad.
look at if yeah, if you look at the rules though, it can be done in classic BattleTech. Anything with X Mech can mount onto anything. So even if the Savannah Master was scrouching its skirts against the floor, it was still bringing that unit with them. Because it loses 2 inches of movement, which would be 1 MP of movement in classics. So by technicality, it's right. Is it cheese? A little bit.
Yeah,
Cheap transport, cheap battle armor for
yeah,
2 points of damage and anti-mech attack. Yeah, you
yeah,
learn to watch
yeah.
it real fast.
I think I've heard.
Um,
I also heard about
you
people
saw
using
annihilators on level 5 hills on the back deployment zone where they
oh
technically couldn't get the annihilator up there at all unless they jumped jetted out of a dropship and landed on that little cliff. But
yeah.
that's another story. I'm not going to talk bad about anybody. Great strategy. They used loopholes. They used it.
Yeah,
But
I saw, and I heard a couple different podcasts talk about that particular annihilator, and that
yeah,
they're going to have to do something about you cannot set up
yeah.
terrain
So I know
within the
they've
set
talked
of
about
phone.
possibly, yeah, the back deployment zone cannot be no more. It's got to be at least 3 inches out. That way, it would solve the issue of having a level 5 on the back and having
Yeah,
an annihilator sitting on top of it. Because there's no way it could have gotten up there to begin with unless it,
yeah,
like I said, jumped out of a drop ship and landed on it.
yeah. I think it was. I think it's
But
when I saw that picture up there. I think the only thing that surprised me more than that picture up there was the fact that an Ares made it to, I guess, King of the
to the
Hill,
center,
to the center. That was like, oh my God! Didn't the guys know they're playing that one to make sure that they took out that Ares? Oh man, but that was fun seeing that picture being posted. You know. And by the way, Bradley got all his luck back in the game against me. All his dice were rolling hot that night, but extremely hot. He had a couple of box cars, but he didn't do much with them. It was just all those uh, snake eyes, snake eyes, snake eyes, snake eyes, snake eyes, snake eyes. The best part was he took out mostly my light mix that way. But I did lose the I think the 3 heavies that I lost was a Marauder, an Archer, and my Cyclops. My Imp lasted to the very end of the game and doing damage to anything that came near it. It's another mech that I got a lot of respect for. And let's call this over. Thank you very much for your time.
All right, sounds good to me. I
Yeah.
will catch you later time.
All right. You take care, my friend.
Have a good one.
All righty.